So this is our first Dominica webinar. Um, actually created the trip for Green Adventures. Took over 2 years to get it off the ground. And we had our first like inaugural trip last November. I'm gonna try to. Okay, so I know a few of you, but there's several new faces. And so, just to give you a little background about myself, I have a degree in marine biology from the University of Miami, and my graduate degree is in marine science and biology, also from the University of Miami's Rosenstiel School of Marine and Atmospheric Science. It's a long name, but I've also been teaching marine biology and environmental science for over 26 years now. And I've also been leading kind of eco adventures during that whole time. Actually started my career with Green Adventures started as a teacher client. So I want to thank David Attenborough basically for uh, introducing me to Green Adventures in a way because back in, I guess it was like 2016, there was this kind of piece of a video that went viral with mobula rays jumping out of the water. And it was in Baja. And I watched that and I was like, I want to go there. So I started researching Baja and I realized just how incredible and biodiverse Baja is. So I was like, this would be an amazing place to take students. So then I started researching, how do I get students there? And I found Green Adventures. And so my first trip was taking students to Baja. Fast forward a couple years, and I had been to Roatan, Honduras before with my husband just on a dive trip. And where we stayed, those of you who have been there, there's the Roatan Institute of Marine Science, like connected to where we stay. And when I was there, I was like, this would be another awesome place to take students. So I contacted Tara and I was like, Tara, do you have a trip to Roatan? And she's like, no, and I'm too busy to do anything. And I was like, okay. And then 2 days later, she contacts me and she's like, you know what? If you put together a trip to Roatan and you take your students as guinea pigs, then we'll try to offer it. So I was like, you're on. And that's kind of how I started leading trips, basically, and creating trips. So I created that trip for to Roatan with Tara, and then recently created another trip to Belize. Our inaugural trip was this summer, and then worked with Tara to create this trip to Dominica. And like I said, all of the trips take so long to plan just because I'm sure you know Tara, most of you. Um, the beauty of Green Adventures is that she's so adamant about, having the best people and the best local leaders and just trying to find that to satisfy like all the boxes that she wants to check for safety and education takes time, obviously. Um, so in addition to Roatan, Belize, and Dominica, I have also led trips to Baja and Trinidad and Tobago. I also put that I suffer from wanderlust, and I have a passion for introducing uh, other people to, places that I know that they're going to fall in love with. Okay, so who's Green Adventures? So Green Adventures is an ecotourism company that's dedicated to inspiring environmental stewards through authentic, affordable, and immersive educational adventures. By taking travelers beyond traditional tourism and into remarkable semi-wild destinations and wild destinations, Green Adventures fosters meaningful connections with the people, cultures, and diverse ecosystems that make each location we visit unique and unforgettable. And how does Green Adventures manage this? So basically, it all started with a dream of Tara's and her love of adventure. And she is, I keep mentioning Tara Short. She's the owner and CEO of Green Adventures. And she wanted to basically create an ecotourism company where she could create these one-of-a-kind adventures to unique places. Um, And not just the thing about traveling with Green Adventures, it's not only about, planning a trip, going on vacation. The beauty of, traveling with Green Adventures is that, the goal and why it takes so long to plan these trips is to basically foster a connection, not only with the place, but, with each other, your fellow travelers. And also another goal is to foster a desire to protect the planet and the ecosystems we visit. So, as I mentioned, all of these trips are built on long-standing relationships with her partners, and she's very, uh, as I mentioned, adamant about, vetting the perfect uh, local partners that she will work with, and they become, not only vendors, but basically friends. Yeah. And always the goal is to try to support some kind of local conservation effort while we're in a place. And the Roatan trip is a great example of that. Uh, those of you who have been, we do a coral restoration project there, and the participants are actually able to work cleaning the trees and then actually out planting some of the coral fragments, which is super cool. This is just a little thing we wrote on the wall when we were in Dominica. We were allowed to write on the wall. So, again, when you travel with Green Adventures, it's not just, okay, I'm going to find somewhere I want to go on vacation, right? Um, the awesome part is that everything is pretty much planned for you, and you're guided, from the day you book through, you know, the day you finish the trip and beyond. So after, registering for a trip, you eventually receive a pre-tour documents. It includes the itinerary, exactly what you need to bring, any kind of requirements you need for entry into the country, the procedure for meeting your trip leader at the airport, etc. And we also host a pre-trip meeting before the tour, so that we can go over all that information and answer, questions one-on-one that people have. Um, they also create a group chat before the tour, so that usually WhatsApp, so that the participants can, get to know each other, get to know the trip leader, be able to ask a question and receive an answer right away. So that's another really super cool thing. And it also helps to build those connections with your fellow adventure buddies that you're going to wind up having basically for life. And these are just some of the places where Green Adventures travels. They've definitely expanded a lot since Tara's first trip to Baja. They now have trips to Alaska, Florida, Idaho, Yellowstone, Wisconsin. A lot of these local trips, well, I say local, but trips in the US basically were put together during COVID when we were not able to really go out of the country very easily. So now they become super popular and really cool trips. Also, new trip to Hawaii, of course, Roatan, Honduras, Baja, Costa Rica, the Galapagos, Iceland. There's also Greenland, where Tara is right now. She's in Greenland, leading a trip. Trinidad and Tobago, Tanzania, Uganda, Vancouver, Peru, Italy, now Belize, and of course, more and more to come. And one of the reasons why we like to offer new trips all the time is because it's kind of, if you've never been on a green adventure trip, just to warn you, they become kind of addictive. And we wind up having like, a following of people that, have such an amazing experience that they just want to go on another trip and another trip and another trip. And a lot of these, of course, adventurers, they like to explore the world. So want to have other, locations that they can go to and still have that awesome green adventure experience. So I'm going to talk a little bit about Dominica now, and specifically the trip to Dominica. It is pronounced Dominica. Tara and I were back and forth with that. She'd call it Dominica, and I was like, no, it's Dominica, and it was Dominica, Dominica. It is pronounced Dominica, and it's not the same country as the Dominican Republic. So Dominica is a tiny island way in the uh, Eastern Caribbean. So it's pretty far down there. You can kind of see from my plane view, all the way down, kind of zoom out. As you get closer, kind of down here to, Venezuela almost. Of course, Trinidad and Tobago are one of the closest Caribbean islands down there, but Dominica is right above it. Um, it is an 8-day trip. So we have 8 days and 7 nights. And I'll talk a little bit more about where you'll be staying. We stay in the same location the whole time. It's called the Fort Young Hotel, and it's absolutely beautiful. It's right on the water. And the dock where we get on the boat, every day we go out to search for whales, is right there. The pool is right on the water. I'll show you a couple pictures. And it's actually a historic fort. It's really, really super cool. And your room is a shared room. I believe there's always an option for upgrading to a single room if that's something you're interested in. And there's a big balcony overlooking the ocean. All the breakfasts, 5 lunches and 2 dinners are included. So the goal of the trip, of course, the main goal is to swim with sperm whales. And so we spend 5 out of those 8 days, kind of 5 back-to-back days, leaving in the morning after breakfast and spending the entire morning on the boat, basically searching for and swimming with sperm whales, which are actually the largest predators on Earth, whether on land, in the ocean, largest predators on Earth. Super cool. But they are super smart and gentle and not dangerous, basically. And I can promise you that because I haven't been eaten yet. So in addition to swimming with sperm whales, we snorkel. Um, there is one day that we have a full a day where we go on a snorkeling excursion, and there's an optional chance to upgrade that to a dive. So instead of snorkeling, you go on another boat and go out on 2 dives. But we also have usually have the opportunity to do more snorkeling. Because on the days if we're out on the water and we're not finding whales right away, instead of just searching and searching and searching, we'll just pull into not like a car, but like boat into an area with a gorgeous reef and just do a little snorkeling while we're out there. We also, in addition to swimming with sperm whales, Dominica is known as the nature island for a reason. So it's a small island, but is gorgeous. Lush rainforest, and mountains, and they kind of uh, almost brag that they have a waterfall for every one of the days of the year. So they have 365 rivers and waterfalls. So we actually visit a few of those waterfalls, including their famous Twin Fall. We also go to T2 Gorge, and that's an adventure in itself. We kind of float on inner tubes, and we go through, it's like a gorge, and to a secret waterfall. And it's also the location where they filmed one of the sequences or one of the scenes in Pirates of the Caribbean. So you can actually see like on the rocky cliff, like the holes where the cameras were mounted. When Johnny Depp did the whole like woo. So I should have put a video of that, but it might not have come out well. Um, and we go to the Emerald Pool. So the Emerald Pool is also another place where we see a gorgeous waterfall. It's called the Emerald Pool for a reason because of its emerald colored water. Not gonna lie, the water is a little chilly, but it is worth it. So this is just I just have a few pictures of the places that I mentioned, and then I'll give you a little more kind of specifics on our day to day. I'm not going to go over like, every single this is what we do, we wake up, but just kind of an idea of what a typical day looks like. So these are some pictures of our ladies from our last trip swimming with sperm whales. I just want to point out that the picture on the bottom is a male. I don't know if you can tell why we know it's a male. As he was swimming along, we think there's so many ladies in the water that he decided to display himself. So that was very unique. I think, yeah, all the ladies surrounding this young male got him a little excited. Um, Sometimes these videos don't come out great, but hopefully you can see this. This is just a video I took of a baby, like a juvenile sperm whale, which I think are the cutest. Um, Not only are sperm whales the largest predator on Earth, they can hold their breath longer than any other mammal. So they can hold their breath for up to 2 hours, which makes, tracking them a little difficult. So that's why the boat captain, they're experts at this. They use a hydrophone to kind of track where they are. But the cool thing is the babies can't dive. So when the parents are diving, they have to leave the babies on the surface. And they are the most inquisitive. And this one baby, I don't think it was that one, we called him Moby. He got a little too comfortable with us. Like he was getting a little mouthy. We had to get out of the water. The guy was like, okay, time to go. Not that he was being aggressive, but it's like a puppy, wanting to chew on you. But when a sperm whale wants to like kind of get to know you. It was time to call it a day on that one. Go find some other whales. So these are just some pictures of some of the places that I mentioned. This is T2 Gorge, where I float through this gorge and then reach this hidden waterfall. This is also a picture of T2 Gorge. This is a picture of the Twin Waterfall. Unfortunately, the photo doesn't do it justice because it is huge, right? You can't tell just how giant and beautiful that these two waterfalls are. The coral reefs are breathtaking there. And this is just a little picture of the Emerald Pool and the waterfall that most of us braved. It's your decision whether you want to go in the water, but you get used to it very quickly. I kind of probably make it sound like it's a little colder than it is. I live in Fort Lauderdale. I'm a little allergic to cold water and being cold in general. So it's cold to me. Even in Belize, I was like, "Ooh, the water's chilly," and I was with a group from Chicago, and they're like, you're crazy." So maybe it's not as chilly as I made it seem to be, but it's worth it because you can stand under the waterfall and get a little waterfall massage. And then afterwards, we go and warm up in these awesome sulfur hot springs. The key to this, and they told us, and I I didn't wear a white bathing suit, but my bathing suit had a white lining. And we didn't really understand why they're like, don't wear a white bathing suit in the sulfur spring. And I quickly learned that that's because it will stain your white bathing suit forever. But it is absolutely beautiful. There's multiple, that's just one of the pools. There's multiple pools, and they're like different temperatures depending on how far they are from the actual geothermal source. So you can go from like one pool to the next to the next. So these are a couple pictures of Fort Young. It is, like I said, a historic fort. It's in the center of Rousseau. So another cool thing is not only is it right on the ocean, it's walkable to, everything pretty much. It's in a very safe, right? All of Dominica is very safe, but it's in a super like safe area called the French Quarter. Safe is probably not the best word. It's all safe. Quaint, I think, is a better word. A quaint area in Rousseau called the French Quarter. And they have tons of little, shops, and they have a grocery store that you can walk to, and then lots of little local restaurants. But we have most of our meals at the hotel restaurant, at least all of our breakfasts, and then most of our lunches, and then two of our dinners. But for the other dinners, we try to, get together as a group and walk together to explore and find some of these cool restaurants. So before our first trip, I made sure to have our local guide kind of, vet the restaurants for me, and give me a list and a menu, because I wanted them to be, quaint, but also not like, and local, but, not too local, I guess. Oops, sorry. So this is a couple pictures of the pool and the view from, this top picture is a view from my room balcony, so can't be beat. And this is a view of the pool. And all of the rooms, well, not all the rooms at Fort Young, but all of our rooms are going to be oceanfront. And also on property is the dive shop located right there. The dock, like I said, where our boat will be picking us up. They have two, actually three, on-site restaurants. They have the pool, the jacuzzi, a little gift shop, and they also have a little cute art museum that they feature local art from, local artists, and that's like a rotating thing. So it's really cool to walk through during free time. And to give you an idea about free time and what we spend, like a typical day looks like. So on most mornings, well, almost every morning we meet for breakfast. Um, Normally most mornings, right after breakfast, we come ready to get on the boat, right? So on five of those days, we meet for breakfast, and then we just walk downstairs and walk right out to the dock, and our boat is there to pick us up. The boat's called Bingo. And we spend 4 to 5 hours basically cruising around. It's obviously beautiful. You can't complain that you are, on a boat in the tropics. And of course, the goal is to find sperm whales. Um, we were lucky. Well, it's not lucky. This is, I guess, typical. We saw sperm whales for out of the 5 days, and swam with them, really up close, three of those days. And even if there aren't sperm whales, there's always a possibility of finding pilot whales, false killer whales, and dolphins that we can get in the water and swim with. And if the whales are on vacation that day, they don't want to be found, then we just, right, might call it, or we'll take a little break, and then go snorkeling on a reef, and then maybe go back out to search again. Um, Again, the video might be shaky, but these are just the ladies swimming with the sperm whales. And when I think a couple ladies were a little daunted at first with the, you know, jumping, having to jump in the water, deep water, that's offshore. But they quickly got over their fear as soon as you see a sperm whale. You're like, okay, forget that. I'm in the water. So that was not a problem for anyone. Um, at first, some of the ladies, even though they had no problem, like, I'm in the water with a sperm whale. They didn't want to get too close. So they kind of like put me in between them and the sperm whale. But it only took, swimming with them like that once before they were like all about getting as close as possible. So on those afternoons that we go out in the morning on the boat, as soon as we get back, we have lunch together, which is included on those days at one of the two hotel restaurants. So we try to kind of vary it um, and eat together at one of the restaurants for lunch. And then you have several of those days, you basically have the afternoon free. So we like to, stay together as a group and kind of make a plan. Whether, oh, we just want to meet at the pool and just hang out. Oh, I'm going to just go take a nap. Or I'm going to go to the spa and have a massage. Or we decide that we're going to, walk around the French Quarter and go to the shops. And then later we'll meet for dinner, either at the hotel. So two of those dinners, like I said, are included, and they'll be at the hotel restaurant. And then the other dinners, we, meet together and we decide. I have my list of menus and places, and we kind of decide where we want to walk to for dinner. However, some of those days, a couple of those afternoons, they're not like all free. We do have a couple excursions on two of the afternoons. One of the days we go to, we take a drive and we go into the rainforest and up the mountains and we go to the Emerald Pool. So it's just a little hike to get to the pool. And then, like I said, you have the choice to hang out on the edge and just like be, bathe in the natural beauty or literally bathe in the pool. And then another afternoon is when we go on our excursion to T2 Gorge and then leave T2 Gorge and then go to the Sulphur Hot Springs. Again, my videos are probably a little shaky, but this is just a picture of the Emerald Pool. She's telling me, come in. And I'm like, okay, it's cold. But if I could brave that cold water, anybody can. And then on the 2 days that we are not on the water searching for whales, so we do that 5 out of the 7 days, and then well, because we have a travel day, of course. We have an excursion, a full day excursion, where we do our actual like snorkeling and dive trips. Even though we usually do a lot of snorkeling before then as well. Um, so the place where we go snorkeling is called Champagne Reef, and it's super, super unique. It's called Champagne Reef because there's actually bubbles that rise up. They're like little bubbles, like in champagne, and those bubbles are created by the geothermal activity underground. So that creates these bubbles that kind of come out of the sand, right? And it looks like you're diving in a glass of champagne or snorkeling around in a glass of champagne with fish, of course. Um, and then the diving is, I've been diving all over the world, and the diving is spectacular there. Uh, we have on those days, we don't eat lunch at the hotel. We eat lunch while we're out on our excursion. And then after that, that's when we visit the Twin Falls. And it's just a little hike to get to the falls. And it's, breathtaking. I love butterfly fish. So this is a little video I took of my butterfly fish. Um, Butterfly fish are adorable to me because they mate for life. They find their mate and they stay together forever. And it's just fun to watch them, like how far they'll get, if they're feeding over here, one's feeding over there, like to watch how far they'll get from each other before they realize, oh wait, where's my mate? And then they go chase them and go, quickly get back together. So they're just some of my favorite fish to watch when I'm diving or snorkeling. Okay, so in order to get there, basically you purchase your flight to Dominica. Um, I have, luckily I could just fly straight from Miami. There's direct flights from Miami. A lot of the other travelers wind up taking a flight to Miami and then to Dominica. So once you and because of that, most of, I think all the ladies, we wound up on the same flight, basically. So we all arrived at the same time. Our awesome local guide was there to greet us at the airport, and take us to the Fort Young Hotel where we check in. Um, no immunizations are required to travel to Dominica, but of course, Green Adventures always recommends that you talk to your own healthcare provider just to, regarding whatever health concerns you might have before travel. So you can find this, of course, on the We Travel webpage, but what's included is, of course, the GE tour leader. It could be me or Kristen. We're offering two dates, kind of overlapping dates. And I can explain why in a minute. Are all of our local guides and activities, our airport transfers to and from the airport, the 7 night ocean view rooms, all the breakfasts, 5 lunches, 2 dinners, our 5 days on the water, swimming with sperm whales, snorkeling on Champagne Reef, and then there's, like I said, that option to upgrade to dive, and our other excursions, like I mentioned. So what's not included is the flight to Dominica, a few of the meals, gratuities, any personal expenses, and then travel insurance. Okay, so these are the tour dates for 2027. Um, the first session I will be leading in the March to April. This is March 27th. Well, March 28th is actually Easter. So because I teach during the school year, um, I have that week off. So that's going to be the week that I am leading. And then Kristen actually will be bringing a group a few days after our group gets there. And so kind of the cool thing is, even though it's a small group, there's only 6 available spots, right? So it's very, very small group, which is different than a lot of Green Adventures tours. And that's because there's only 6 with a trip leader allowed on the boat snorkeling with the sperm whales at any given time. So one of the reasons for the cost of the trip is because the permit to swim with sperm whales is very expensive, and the Dominican government only gives out very, very limited number of permits to their local, like a few registered local boat owners, right? That are registered to take visitors out to swim with the sperm whales. So because it's such a limited number of permits, and they're 10-day permits, um, it's they know that they have something special that they can charge for. And so in order to take advantage of the 10-day permit, Tara and I came up with the idea of basically having these 2 overlapping trips so that the first 5 days of my group, we will be um, on the water searching for whales, and then we'll do our 2 days of excursions at the end, and then it would be flipped for Kristen's group. Well, they'll start with 2 days of excursions and then spend the 5 days on the water. So we basically have 10 consecutive days. But even though we have such a small group, during the majority of the time we're there, we see each other, right? We usually try to have two of those dinners that we have at the hotel, the two dinners that are included at the hotel. We have them when both groups are there, so that we can kind of get to know some other fellow travelers. And this is a QR code. So if you want to scan it, it will take you to the web page where you can register for the trip. You can see, read a little bit more about the day-to-day itinerary, see the cost of the trip, uh, be kind of reminded what's included, what's not included. And again, it's a very, very small group. So at the moment, there's only two spots available for the first session that I'm leading. And there's only three spots available left for the second session that Kristen's leading. And I believe I saw this on the site when I was checking it out the other day, that there's an early bird price available now, but it says that it ends tomorrow on July 15th. So just putting that out there. Um, oops, that's what I read on We Travel. That was posted before the date of the webinar. So it actually turned out good that we had the webinar before the early bird pricing ends. So I just want to open it up now. I did all the talking, and see if you have any questions that I could answer or any concerns you might have.
Hi, Amy. It's Deb.
Hi.
And
Hi,
hi,
Deb.
Nina and Barb. Nice to see
Hi,
you guys
Deb.
again. My only concern, and this was brought to my attention after I already signed up, I guess I didn't read the fine print well enough, is the hoisting yourself up into the boat. I guess I'm going to be doing strength training for the next 9 or 10 months, but
So you did contact me about that, and
yeah,
I've been like in and out of the country. And just the other day, I was like, oh my goodness, I did not get back to Deborah about that. I did search for to see if I had videos because you asked if I had any pictures of
yeah.
the platform that you had to like. It's really it's not far above the water. It's just you kind of just have to, and they do have a ladder. So it's just that we're trying to like in the water, out of the water, in the water, because the sperm whales move around. So we're like jump on the boat and then jump off the boat so we can kind of follow
Oh,
them.
well, if there is a ladder, that's my only concern is if I wasn't able to like pull myself out. But
My group consisted of, ladies, a couple ladies that were in their late 60s. We had a lady in her 70s, and, everybody was able to get up there. And of course, we helped each other. I felt like I was a whale when I was like flopping myself up onto the platform. There were a couple that could just like push themselves up and they're all like graceful. I just kind of like, bleh, just like fell onto like push like rolled onto the thing. But it's really, you know, if everyone in my group could do it,
okay.
you'll be fine. I saw you
Question.
jump off of a cliff before into the water.
Yeah, I know. It's not going down that I'm worried about. It's coming back up. But thank you.
We'll get you on the boat. And if anything, they do have a ladder that they can put.
Okay. Okay.
What language do they speak in Dominica?
English.
Oh,
So
okay.
their national language is English. Of course,
Oh,
they when they speak to each other, they speak in, that Caribbean broken English, and
okay.
a little patois, a
Mm-hmm.
little French, right? So
Okay.
it's kind of like a mixture of broken English and French,
Mm-hmm.
but they all speak English.
Okay. So do you think in March that you need wetsuits or not? Like I didn't see anyone wearing a wetsuit.
But that was in November.
But that was I don't know
Oh
what
yeah, we were in November and we weren't I was wearing leggings and a rash guard and then
so we don't have to wear
some of them just wearing a
wetsuits.
bathing suit. So and I'm allergic to cold water. So but in March
Okay.
and
No, that's
April
good. I'd
the water
rather
will be
not
even
wear
warmer.
okay. And also, if we, I don't know yet, but if we wanted to go a couple days early, could we
Sorry,
set
I
it
didn't
up?
catch that.
If Nina and I wanted to be there like 2 days early, just to, Just
Make
to
sure
go
we got
early,
there.
make sure we get there. Is that a problem? Like, just
Yeah, we actually for I led the first session this past year, and Tara came in like overlapping. Her group is the one that overlapped, and I think 4 out of the 6 women in her group came in a couple days early. So yeah, we could help you book a hotel.
Okay.
There's other places you could stay, but it would, stay
be
it for you.
better there. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Is there anything else?
Mhm.
Are there any questions in the chat? Well, let's see.
For the optional dive, do they offer training for that if you wanted to do that,
For certification,
or do you have to be certified ahead of time if you did that?
you would want to be certified ahead of time because it's not like a dive trip like Belize or Roatan where you're kind of doing diving every day. By the time, you would do your checkout dives, I mean that would be your dives. So it would be if you'd wanted to dive, I'd definitely recommend coming with your dive certification. Shauna, were there any questions in the chat? I'm not seeing this.
We will be reaching out in the next couple days with the link to this recording, and as well, if there's any other questions, Aimee and I will be emailing everybody just to, like, if there's anything extra you wanted to talk about or discuss, that's your other opportunity as well.
Yep. Well, thank you, ladies, for joining me. And I know that I'm going to see some of you in Dominica. I hope to see some of you other ladies with me on the trip.
Thank you.
We're looking forward to it.
Yay.
Yeah.